Okay, so your best, oops, I'm sorry.
Oh, and gently inserts into bladder until urine flows through the tubing.
Best practice, don't move this hand. Just leave it here. You're going to hold the labia apart. And really, truly, if this was a large person and difficult to find, Chris would probably have clean gloves on, and he'd be helping hold parts, or hold a light, or hold legs, or help hold labia. Sometimes it's very hard to find.
I've had up to 5 people in a catheterization.
Yeah.
With a large person.
They get difficult. A woman's, it's very hard to find in a woman. I will tell you, right now, this will be easy because everybody can kind of stand up and see. The folds all kind of come together on a real person. You kind of go towards the top. If you start higher, you can work yourself down to that opening. If you start low, chances are you're going to end up in the vagina. If that's the case and you insert the catheter into the vagina, what would you do? Okay, what would you do with the one that's in the vagina? Probably leave it, and then you know where not to go the next time you do it. So we find the fold maybe looks a little star-shaped up towards the top. So now what I do, which might be different than Mel or might be different than Chris, is I've lubricated my Foley. I grab it. I'm still sterile. I just bring this whole box with me. I set it right between her legs. I'm still sterile. I'm keeping this tips up sterile. It's lubricated. I'm still sterile with this hand. This is still the dirty hand. I have her labia spread. I'm not going to touch my hands. It's really hard on this man. I cannot too, but I'm not going to touch my hands. I'm going to find the right spot. And until I take a nice deep breath, a little uncomfortable, and I'm going to push it forward. How long? Until I get some urine return, which on this patient you are probably not. I don't have her loaded with urine. Okay, now what am I going to do? Maybe go a little bit farther. Yep. Okay. Now what? What does it say on your checklist?
Inflate balloon.
Okay, so I've gone in far enough to get urine return, and maybe went a little bit farther. I'm going to let go here now, and I'm going to blow up the ball. Then what is it? What do you do after the ball?
Test tug gently.
So I'm going to gently pull back, just until I meet resistance. And now that extra bit I put in, that Foley bulb's against that sphincter, against the. Now you know it's secure in place. What's the next step, it says?
Attach catheter to drainage system. Secure the patient's birth.
Okay, so this one did not come with an attachment system. This was something you would know that you need to bring in something separate that goes on the patient's leg. It's like an elastic Velcro that you would attach this, lay it on the leg, and then attach it. So in your settings, when you're doing it, you need to go get that and do it if you're doing it with a patient. When you're testing out, you would say, I would securely fasten this to the leg. And then where does this hang on the bedside? All of you should know that. Up here, in the middle, down here.
Below the bladder.
Below the bladder, so I'm going to hang it down here there's usually hooks on the bed. We don't hang it on the side rail, so we lift the side rail up and the catheter goes with it. When you're doing those tubes and line checks in your general survey, let me move this a little bit. Where should this tubing be? Catheter tubing. Like hung down like this, or maybe coiled up so it's draining properly on the bed. Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves is to see catheters hanging down like this. I'm one of those nurses that coils everybody's up so it drains properly. So then as the next step, take your gloves off, wash your hands, and then what do you do? Document, chart that you did it, and what are you going to chart? What things are you going to look for? Procedure, but what are you going to chart? Color. Maybe if you sent off a lab test, you're going to chart that you sent your urinary test out.
Amount of fluid used to make
Some of the EHRs have how much balloon. I don't know that mine really does. I don't think mine does. It just says Foley catheter inserted.
Time, date.
Without difficulty, time, date, who did it, how the patient tolerated it.
Yeah.
What else do you have to do with this patient now?
Make sure she's in a safe position.
Covered up.
Bed down.
Take my stuff back. My bed's in the high position.
You may need to consider pericare after Foley insertion because there may be gel and things like that to take care of.
And betadine and
It's messy. Make sure you get everything on the bed.
Does the amount that you replace the balloon vary?
no, it did not generally. It usually comes over 3 till kind of 3 The only times you might have one sometimes I like to have like a paper towel handy, and I'm gonna put my gloves on so it's more realistic. Identify the patient, put them in a comfortable position, checked my order, got my syringe, got my clean gloves on.
Some Kleenex, washcloth, Pericare stuff, they always dribble. So, yeah, you want to have something for your patient comfort cares.
A lot of times I'll put like a little blue pad underneath them, and then I'll also bring in something like this or paper towel or whatever to have with me in my hand. Unfasten it,